Welcome to the NFL Matchup Show. Sal Palantonio, Greg Cosell is here, Lou Riddick is here. Week 6 is here, and we start with the number 1 game of Week 6. That would be the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. It's the number 1 game.
Why?
I'm going to be there at MetLife Stadium for ESPN.
Every week it's that way. I know.
It's a pattern. It's a trend, I realize, but it's a good one. Oh, I want to start with you, Lou, because it's a Todd Bowles team back on our show.
Yeah.
And we love Todd Bowles. You played with Todd Bowles. He's a defensive-minded guy. You played defense together with him in the National Football League, but we flipped the script on the matchup show. That's what we like to do.
Yeah.
And the Jets can play deep ball offense. Where is this coming from?
Yeah, it's something you wouldn't associate with the Jets necessarily now, would you, at the beginning of this football season? But what is happening right now is they're doing a great job of scheming up opposing defenses that play them in a lot of single safety middle defenses. Why? Because the Jets are really known to want to run the football. But when they do push it down the field on 21-plus air yard throws, Josh McCown is second in the league right now. And we're going to see how, by looking at this tape, how they're doing this. Because when you come out and you play 8-man fronts against a team, you really define the coverage. And we've said that week after week on this show, you define the coverage for the quarterback. And here you see the Jets in 11 personnel, and the Miami Dolphins are going to wind up in their sub-nickel, rotating down to play a 3-buzz strong, which means on the weak side, you can go to work on the weak side flat defender here with a typical flat curl type of combination route, which is what the Jets try to do here. The only difference is the curl is a little bit deeper, and it's in the wide receiver, the ex-wide receiver floats inside a little bit away from the cornerback here. And here, Josh McCown does a great job of releasing the ball early. Darius Stewart, the rookie out of Alabama, does a great job of extending and taking the ball out of the air. And that's how you get one of those 21-plus air yard completions. Here is another situation against the Jacksonville Jaguars where the Jaguars are known for playing 3 deep as well. And this is a combination that you see out of 11 personnel. A lot of offenses are attacking 3 deep zone with, which is all go with the number 3 wide receiver to the trip side running what is essentially a deep over or a divide type of concept here. And what they're trying to do is work on the weak side linebacker and play with the free safety as far as the quarterback using his eyes, and then opening up that zone on the outside with the ex-wide receiver running off the cornerback. And here it's just a great throw from Josh McCown to Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who extends, plucks the ball out of the air over a very good coverage linebacker in Telvin Smith. But because of the nature of the defense and because of the weakness of the defense, they're able to exploit it. And Josh McCown right now, he's on fire, Sal.
Wow. You got to like that stuff.
How about that? Josh McCown on fire.
That's why you watch the matchup show. Josh McCown on fire, but we break it down in a way that people can really understand. I want to break down now the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos. These are 2 teams that went into the offseason looking for a running game, right? Yeah. One of them found it, the Denver Broncos. 143 yards per game rushing the football. Show us what they're doing.
Well, and the other defense, the Giants defense, lost their run defense. So, Sal, I was like you this week. I started by looking at some stats. Broncos 3rd in rushing, Giants in the bottom 3rd in rush defense. But then I exceeded your 2 minutes of tape study and really did a deep dive on the Broncos' run offense. And what I really found out was they run the ball really, really well out of 11 personnel, meaning 1 back, a tight end, and 3 wide receivers. They average 5.3 yards a rush out of that personnel package. And we're going to take a look at some of their runs out of that personnel package. And the foundation run that they really start with, as you see them in 11 personnel, they have the back, C.J. Anderson, and the tight end. What they like to do is they like to run zone-type concepts out of this, inside zone-type concepts. They get the 2 double teams on the defensive tackle. They do this really well, and what they do is they create the lane here for C.J. Anderson. But now what you get is you get the right guard, Ron Leary, doing an excellent job working up to the 2nd level to get the linebacker. But the gap is there, so C.J. Anderson can now work off Leary's block, does a terrific job. That's just an inside zone run with a double team executed about as well as you could do it. They also like to run the counter play. This is a different run now. Anderson is an eye back, but it's 11 personnel. You're going to get the down block by the guard, and they'll do it a little differently here. You get the kick-out block by the offensive tackle, but you see that creates the initial lane. So what they do here with this counter run is they have the right guard as a puller, He'll get the first stacked backer inside. You'll get Green, the tight end, work around. He'll get the second stacked backer to the inside. And again, this is counter-executed beautifully. You get Demaryius Thomas coming in to get the filling safety Jones. Beautifully executed. Two different runs executed beautifully. This is what the Broncos now bring to the table with their run game. Really nicely done.
Good stuff, Greg. Stay right there. Up next. Oh, here's our guy. We've been on him since the NFL draft, right, Luke? Kareem. I'm Sal Palantonio. Our next matchup, Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's time for our weekly segment on rookie running back Kareem Hunt. We talked about his versatility, his toughness, his pyrotechnics, but he has become a workhorse back. He's on pace for 310 carries in this season. Last time Andy Reid had a guy run for 310 carries in one season, it was Deuce Staley back in 1999. And ironically, well, maybe not so ironic, both of them drafted in the third round.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't think of Andy Reid as a run-first coach, but their offense kind of starts now with the zone run game. But they do so many things in the backfield to enhance that. They're multidimensional with their backfield actions. There's a lot going on in the backfield for defenses to deal with. They package plays really, really well. That's what they do. They have run plays. Inside runs, outside runs, they look the same. And now the Steelers come in with a bad run defense. They're struggling with their run fits. They're disciplined in the run game. So we're going to start by taking a look at the Steelers' defense.
Here's Ryan Shazier in his stacked linebacker position. The Bears ran inside zone away from Shazier. Inside zone is a tight flow run, which lends itself to the cutback. Shazier must flow slow, aware of the cutback. He can't turn and run. The Chiefs feature the zone run game, and at times package it with jet motion. Here, Kareem Hunt ran the zone play to the field. What Tyreek Hill's jet motion did was essentially block the backside defensive end without putting a body on him. Now let's take a better look from the end zone and focus on tackle Eric Fisher and backside linebacker Benardrick McKinney. McKinney was in good position to play the cutback, but the jet motion paired with the zone run gave the Chiefs a blocker for McKinney. The Chiefs do a great job pairing inside runs and perimeter runs on the same play. That creates conflict for defenders. Here, you had inside zone action by the offensive line off the snap. Here came the perimeter run. It happened so fast, the defense couldn't react. Right now, no one is stressing defenses more than the Chiefs.
Boy, I love watching this guy play. I really do. And you were the first guy to really point him out in the NFL draft shows here in Philadelphia. And Alex Smith made himself
like the Steelers, the second-level players and the secondary players that play with great eye discipline. Because of all the backfield action that Greg talked about that's going on behind the line of scrimmage, if you wind up coming forward, that means the ball's going over your head. And that's why they have been just bombs away on teams in the secondary as far as big plays. That's right.
Vertically.
That's right. So it's going to be imperative that they play smart.
It's an easy game, right? It's complimentary football. It's not that tough when you look at it like that. What's going on with Big Ben?
What did I say a couple of weeks ago about the Steeler offense? It has to start now through Le'Veon Bell. It just has to. It reminds me almost of the Broncos with Elway late in his career when it was about Terrell Davis. It has to be about Le'Veon Bell now.
Next matchup, Detroit Lions and the New Orleans Saints. And the Saints' pass defense has shown up. For once in a decade, they're here. What do you got?
For the past 2 weeks, I mean, they've kept opposing teams to passing under 200 yards, and they've had 4 sacks in each of the past 2 weeks. Now, why is that? It's really for 2 reasons. One, individual technique has been cleaned up as far as the players themselves are concerned. And number 2, pattern recognition and pattern matching down the field has been absolutely spectacular, which I didn't think I'd be saying about the Saints. And we're going to look at it here right now at some of the ways that they have really started to look good here, of how they're tying in coverage with pass rush, and they're getting the desired results. Here you see in pre-snap, looks like a weak side roll cover 6 coverage, doesn't it? Looks like they're just going to play a typical 3D type of zone. But what you're going to see here is at the snap, what they're doing is they're running to sky, which means on the weak side, the safety is exchanging responsibilities with the corner. That's Von Bell, the safety, coming down and getting a jam on the X-wide receiver. The corner replaces him basically on the hash, 3 yards inside the numbers. Now, what they do a great job here secondarily is that they match the pattern perfectly. You see A.J. Klein, the Mike backer. He relates to the number 3 wide receiver down the seam. You see the weak side linebacker relating to Christian McCaffrey, leaking out into the flat here. And then you see everyone play their responsibilities to the point where now the pass rush can work and it puts Cam on his back. That's how you get a winning down. Here they're going to play a little bit more 2-man, and what you wind up seeing here between Ken Crawley and Kenny Vaccaro on this bunch set is tremendous communication as far as sorting out the stack, not turning anybody loose, and then playing with great leverage and using your help. You see Kenny Vaccaro playing outside leverage on the 7 route, the safety sitting inside for anything inside breaking, and now they got everybody locked down the field, and the pass rush can go to work. And here you see a great job of running a 3-man game here between Sheldon Rankins, Alex Okafor, and A.J. Klein, which is 2 guys go down, A.J. Klein wraps around, and this is trying to find a lane to the quarterback. And here, what it does a great job of happening here is that the safety pressure rushes the running back. The tackle thinks he needs to help. He fans out. He opens up a gap. A.J. Klein gets the sack. So right now, when you talk about complementary football, they're playing complementary defense.
Yep.
The secondary is tying in with the front. The front is putting the quarterback on his back because the quarterbacks have to hold the ball. Hey, Saints, I got to give you your credit. You've actually picked it up.
8 sacks in the last 2 games.
That's right.
Stay right there. Coming up, Aaron. Welcome back to the NFL Matchup Show. Sal Paolantonio, Lou Riddick, Greco Sal. Only on ESPN. Don't you forget that, Lou. Our next matchup's a big game. That's where the big board Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. And when you look at Aaron Rodgers, said he's on a roll. How about this roll? Last 14 games, here are the numbers. 37 touchdown passes, 5 picks, 12-2 during that span. Now he goes up against that Mike Zimmer defense that had a little success against Rodgers last year.
Yeah, particularly in Minnesota where this game is. But I really wanted to focus on first down passing, where Rodgers has been really, really good over the last couple of years. And the thing about first down passing is normally, particularly within your division, you're going to get fairly predictable coverage concepts. For instance, when you play the Vikings, you know on first down you're going to get high percentage zone. They're a predominant 2-shell team. So what you normally get is what we call quarters coverage. So we're going to go inside this matchup and start by taking a look at the Packers versus the Vikings.
This was first down play action out of a balanced 2-by-2 formation. It was a 2-man route concept with Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson. The Vikings were in quarters coverage with their safeties tight to the line of scrimmage. The combination of Aaron Rodgers' boot action and Adams' inside stem influenced Harrison Smith. Smith looked for Adams running the backside crosser. Nelson's vertical route was dependent on safety Andrew Sendejo. If Sendejo sat low, Nelson would take it over the top. Here, Sendejo opened and ran for depth, taking away the vertical. Nelson's response was to bend his post underneath the safety. Let's fast forward to week 4 this season. Again, this was first down play action. Again, out of a balanced 2-by-2 formation. The Bears were in quarters coverage, and their safeties were also sitting low. This was the same 2-man route concept with Adams and Nelson. Nelson's vertical route was dependent on safety Adrian Amos. Here, Amos sat low, and Nelson took it over the top. Familiarity with and predictability of defenses in your division allow you to take advantage of tendencies. And then there's the Aaron Rodgers factor. He knew he had Nelson down the middle. He just had to get to a spot where he could deliver the ball.
And it sure does help to have Jordy Nelson back. Healthy again, there's no question about that. Before I get to you on the Vikings offense, real quick follow-up question. A lot of people are talking about how the Packers' run game will fit into the puzzle here.
Yeah, and they've been running the ball really, really well out of 11 personnel. They spread the field, 3 wide receivers. That's where I think Aaron Jones, their rookie back, is at his best because he finds gaps, he gets through small creases, you spread the defense out. Jones, I think, is now going to be a bigger factor in this Packers run game.
Big picture, small picture, what's the state of the Vikings offense?
Well, really, Sal, really dependent upon the quarterback right now, whether they go with Case Keenum or if Sam Bradford is healthy. I think Case Keenum gives them the best chance to win here because it enables them to really move on a little bit. Become now quarterbacks that are more mobile inside the pocket. They need Case Keenum's athleticism. Why? Because they don't have Dalvin Cook anymore to run the football. And the running game right now is in a little bit of a state of flux. They have tremendous wide receivers now. Stephon Diggs is tremendous. Adam Thielen is tremendous. If Case Keenum can move the launch point a little bit, get some creativity in the offense here, maybe they don't miss Sam Bradford, and maybe this offense
proven to be set up on third and particularly third and long. They are heavy blitz, and they like to play single high safety, man-to-man. They blitz a lot. It's going to be so critical to have some movement for your quarterback here. Bradford would not give them that movement at all in this game.
You cannot be an iron deer sitting back there against the Green Bay Packers. If you can get to movement, you can put this secondary really under duress because they've had some problems. They've been exposed.
Real quick, what have you seen from Aaron Rodgers? A couple of words. I know you've studied him so closely.
He's good.
Look, man, I mean, you know, it's just, you know, he does things with that arm that other people just can't do. He was born with it. It's just transcendent. In every sense of the word, it's transcendent. There's just nothing that he cannot get out of as far as a bad play is concerned, turning it into a good play.
It really is magic. It really is magic. When we look at Jacksonville Jaguars next.
Pick off. It is picked off by the Jaguars, running it back. Inside the 15, inside the 5, into the end zone. Tillman Smith. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
All right, showtimes for your NFL matchup show. Remember, this is the show the players and the coaches watch. And they also follow us on Twitter at NFL Matchup. Monday Night Football, the Colts, Tennessee Titans. The Titans are looking to get back in the AFC playoff hunt. Another team looking to get back in the early playoff picture is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're at home. They got the LA Rams coming in. And Jared Goff is going to face another stingy defense, second week in a row, and it's going to be difficult for him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Why? Because this secondary is one of the best in the National Football League at locking down your wide receivers on the outside and just putting a safety in the middle of the football field and daring you to throw it against them. This is something that has helped Jared Goff so far because he's gotten a lot of single safety middle defenses, and the reads have been easy for him, but it's not going to be easy this week, and we're going to show you exactly why. This is a team that doesn't blitz a whole lot, but when they do, and you're going to see it here in this first clip, they're very effective at it. Here against 22 personnel, they're going to run what is called a Sam Mike fire zone, which is they're going to send the Sam to the Mike. They're going to play cover 3 behind it, 3 under, 3 deep, and they're effective at getting to the quarterback, and then they affect the quarterback, and then the secondary can really hunt in the back end. Here you see Paul Posluszny and Miles Jack blitzing down the middle of the field. And what they wind up doing in the back end here, as far as the secondary is concerned, they get tremendous pattern matches in the back end and really get on your wide receivers. And here they get the matchup that they want on the corner here. Jalen Ramsey against Vance McDonald. It's not something that the Steelers want, but it's something that the Jacksonville Jaguars want. And when Posluszny forces Ben to get rid of the ball quick, now you've got an errant throw against Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in the National Football League, who quite honestly is much better than I even thought he was going to be. And now he picks off the football, and they're off to the races now. I mean, this doing all year long. Here, they're going to get up on the line of scrimmage, 8 men on the line of scrimmage. They're going to make you think, now we're coming. But remember that the Jaguars do not like to blitz a whole lot. So really, they're just disguising. They're going to back out here. Now, Jalen, the thing about the Jaguars is they play simple, but they play fast. And as soon as the quarterback gives you that long arm motion of where he's going with the football, you see 3 guys hunting down the football, running to the rock. Barry Church gets the tip on a great pass breakup by Jalen Ramsey, and it's a pick-6 situation. That is something right there that Jared Goff cannot afford to have happen if he wants to win this football game. This is really a watershed game for both of these franchises, one of the biggest games of the weekend. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that was Big Ben back there,
That's
not
right.
Jared Goff.
That's
okay.
right.
Is this a personnel thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars or a scheme thing?
Really, it's a personnel thing. They just got better people than you do in the back end. At least they would like to believe so. And they're going to challenge you in that way. They're going to play really single safety middle. It's either going to be cover 3 or it's going to be cover 1. And they're going to dare you to beat them over the top outside.
And this is a Tom Coughlin, Doug Marrone team, so you know they want to run the football right off the bus.
They can only play one way to win. They can run the football, they can play great defense, and quite honestly, if we're being honest about this, they're trying to hide their quarterback. They do not want Blake Bortles to have to throw the ball. They ended last week's game with 18 consecutive runs. Now, the Rams
That's
have
some
been,
old school football right
the Rams have been really, really good, though, in defending the run at a base personnel versus the opposition's base personnel. That's key in this game.
And it's nice to have a rookie, Leonard Fournette, 22 carries per game, most in the National Football League. Where are you going? Keep it right here on ESPN. It's Week 6. See you next week.
This is SportsCenter Live.